Today I'm sitting here in California, Antioch, in Jasmine and Harry's very beautiful house, and I'm here with a very important person today. Um, Before I tell you his name, let me give maybe some tips, and maybe some of you guys can figure out who I'm talking about. He's Osho's very old disciple. He learned about Osho even before Osho started lecturing, actually. So it was 1969 when he heard about Osho, and sometime in 1970s, Osho called him for sannyas. He went, and then Osho said, "Well, you need to finish your studies first." So he sent him back. And then he came back again, got sannyas, and today he's leading Osho's work all over the world. So before I break the suspense, let me give you one more tip. His first name is the same name as my first name. So it starts with Anand, but there's a lot of difference between him and me, obviously. So today we are meeting Swami Anand Arun. Swami Anand Arunji, as we call him Arunji, he has started a big center, a Osho center in Nepal. And that center is benefiting lots of people in Nepal and worldwide. Lots of people visit that center. I'm planning to go there. But today we are all lucky here that we don't have to go to Nepal, and Swamiji is here with us. So welcome, Swamiji, to Antioch, California. Thank you very much, Swamiji, for coming here and blessing this house and blessing us all. So thank you very much.
It's my privilege to meet such beautiful people like you and share my experience with also. I feel very happy. That's it.
So Swamiji, let's start with asking you, how did you hear about Osho?
I was a student in India and I was looking for guru and visiting all the important ashram of North India. And I was initiated by many gurus of that time. But I was not satisfied. I was not hooked anywhere. I could stay 1 or 2 years with one guru, then I feel that I'm not getting the proper guidance or juice. So I was changing guru after guru. So I was initiated by all important guru of that time, of 70s, 69, 70, 60 to 70. Then all of us, on a very auspicious day, I saw a small poster that Acharya Rajneesh is going to address a evening gathering in a library ground in Patna, where I was a student of engineering. So I saw his picture. He has beard. Although the poster was not very clear, his picture was not very clear, but I could see his eyes. It was very magnetic, and he has a long black beard. So that attracted me. I think I must go. Although the place was at a distance from my hostel, but I went there to attend his lecture. And I have not read any book. At that time, only 3 or 4 books were published, and that were not popular. His name was not popular. He has not become popular. It was March in 1969. I remember the date, 29th March 1969. Then first time I met my master. He was going to deliver a lecture, and I just saw him. And those days it was he used to request that before he delivered a lecture, somebody should sing a song, bhajan. And his favorite songs were from Kabir and Meera. So one lady was singing a Kabir song, and Bhagwan was sitting on the dais. That time he was called Acharya Rajneesh, not Bhagwan. The first thing which attracted me is his physical grace. I could see that there is some transcendental beauty on there, and this man does not, it looked to me that this man does not belong to this earth, as if he has come from some other planet, because it was not physical beauty, it was some charm, some special grace which I cannot explain to you, but something was pulling me towards him. I was sitting in the front row. Bhagwan was in his 30s, I was in my 20s. And Bhagwan, that time he having very good health and black beard, black hair. You can see some of his picture where he just wear white lungi and a white shawl. It was month of March, little bit cold, but he was just having bare naked body, just a shawl and a lungi. And he was so silently listening the bhajan. The Ma was singing Kabir bhajan. Kabir is my favorite also. And I was sitting in the front row. I could feel the aroma of his body. Every Buddha Purush, every enlightened master has a fragrance of his body. That I realized after meeting Bhagwan. Bhagwan has explained it in his discourse that Buddha, wherever Buddha lived, his house was called Gandhakuti because he had a special aroma from his body, and that house become charged with it. Still, if you go to Pune, his library and his bedroom still has that fragrance. He has 20 years has passed, but the fragrance is still there, and I don't know how many more years it will remain. So the fragrance is so hypnotic. It was like sandalwood mixed up with kapoor and keshar. I cannot describe it, but it's something very sweet. No? That I felt many times afterwards. Whenever I come close to Bhagwan, he had a aroma. And Bhagwan explained me, then when vasana when passion becomes compassion, then people start radiating some fragrance. And a more passionate a person, more ugly he looks. And when the passion becomes compassion, his body radiates some aroma. So that thing was affecting me, and his physical grace. The month of March, evening of March, फागुन की शाम तो ऐसे ही गुलाबी होती है. और we were sitting at the bank of Ganges. Ganges is also a pure river. So everything made an impact on me. I started crying. Even before he started lecture, I started crying. I could not understand what is happening to me. Because I've never heard about this man. I have no connection. And when he started his discourse, it was so sweet, very priyatman. And the whole lecture, it was like listening to a music concert. It was not a lecture, it was that you are attending some music concert. He was speaking in poetry, and actually he was singing, not speaking. I have never heard such a beautiful lecture from anywhere, from any master. It directly penetrated in my heart. So I started crying more bitterly. And it looked to me that as if I'm meeting somebody whom I lost in my childhood or in my previous life, some relatives or some friend. Suppose you lose your brother or your friend and you meet him after 20 years or 30 years. So what will happen to you? The same thing happened to me. As if I am meeting somebody whom I have lost in my childhood or in my previous life. Now I can analyze, but that time it was very difficult to understand. But it looked to me that I have got something which was mine, but I lost it. So that type feeling was there, and I attended the 1 hour lecture, and that was my first meeting with my master.
So Swamiji, you said that once you met him, you realized that there was sort of a previous life or childhood connection. But in the first place, what was missing in your life that you were looking for a guru? Like you mentioned, you were looking for a guru. In those days, you were an engineering student, as you said, in your 20s. At that age, most of the youngsters today might relate to your situation. So could you share with us what was in your life that made you look for some gurus?